Welcome back, everybody. We're down here on this Super C again. It's the never-ending project. But I wanted to show you, if you didn't see the other videos, this is a water pump. It was from Steiner. Of course, they're made in China, but, you know, we're lucky that somebody's willing to make them. But they had a little bit of a machining flaw on it. And that's this boss right here. Actually, I'll get out my flashlight there so you can see it a little better. This boss right here, as you can see, that belt interferes with that. And you can see it even holds it like, you know, so it's not straight. So there's about an eighth of an inch right there in the way. Maybe close to a quarter. And this is a real thick casting. You can see there, it's got plenty of meat there to grind on. So we're going to go ahead and take this thing. I'm going to take the belt out of the way. I'm going to get an angle grinder. I think I can do it on the tractor, I hope. I hope I'm not going to have to take it off. Might be this piece here, might be in the way, it might not, I don't know. But we'll see what happens here in a minute. Now that you can get the light right there, you can see the way it's going to interfere. Anyway, I'm going to grind that little nub off right there. Probably a quarter of an inch out right here. Well, I had trouble there. There's just so much stuff. I was starting to grind here and I was hitting the pulley. And unless you take the front end off, you really can't fix it. But anyway, we've got it now so that I can see right down by here, right down at the bottom pulley, and I got about an eighth of an inch of clearance. So I think we're good to go. That's the first thing you got to fix in this water pump. The other thing is I took it all apart, put a new gasket in the middle, and I put this Allen head cap screw in here. The reason is they don't have enough meat removed on the back side to get a wrench in there. And you really can't get a box end on and get anything tight. So with this, I can take a ball end Allen wrench and I can come in at a little bit of an angle and I can tighten it right up. So I know it's not original, but you know, sometimes with this stuff, you got to do what you got to do. And I'm more interested in having a good working tractor than having a museum piece. If I was going to a museum, you know, you'd probably take the thing all apart, press the pulley off, run an end mill in there, make sure you had clearance enough, and then put it back together and then use the original bolts and all that. But anyway, that's how I did it. So I'm gonna put this front fan hub on and get the belt on, and yeah, nothing to it. Well, I got this all tight, and according to the book, you know, this is supposed to have 3/4 of an inch of slop on it. So it really doesn't run that tight. I think it's probably because of the way this top is lubricated. You know, it don't have any ball bearings in it. You can probably run it a lot tighter if you do put the ball bearing type into it. But anyway, this back here, you don't turn on that knot. That just slides up and down the track. This here is 13/16. So, yeah, came out pretty good. As you can see, boy, it is close where that kind of misses there. It is missing by about a 1/16 of an inch. And, you know, if it causes problems on the belts, I'll probably end up taking the water pump right completely off. Put it on the bench where you got room and I can grind that. Probably should have done that anyway, but I didn't. Yeah, so I'm going to get a oil can before I forget. Put about 20-30 squirts in there, and then we'll tip it down, let the excess run out, and she'll be lubricated. Well, as you can see, it was bothering me that that wasn't done right. So I got it over in the vise. We're gonna grind. Well, right here, there's a little bit of a high spot. I don't know if you can see that little lump right there. I'm gonna go after that again right there. And I think I'm gonna be all right after that. Looks pretty good to me. There's just a high spot right in the middle. I'm not even gonna video it, but I'll get that cleaned. Well, I've got this back on. I actually filmed it, but I had the camera set for a picture instead of the video. So yeah, so much for video, huh? But anyway, now you can see when I pull that up, I got some clearance there. Well, it almost looks like their casting still is a little funky, but anyway, I'm gonna put it back together just like I had it before, and with the right tension on it, we'll see what we got for clearance down there. Well, I got this fan belt on. If you push on the fan a little bit, just to take the slack out of the back, it's about what the book says, about 3/4 of an inch without working too hard at it. And as you can see, now we've got clearance over here. Of course, when you rock the fan back and forth, change the belt tension, it gets pretty close, but I think we're going to be fine. Still got about 1/8 of an inch there. I'm going to call that a win and go to putting the generator on. Well, like I was saying earlier, that belt needs to run right over here somewheres, real close to the back side of this pulley. And I was going to actually mill this slot out so that I could bring it ahead 1/8 of an inch, which would take care of everything. But don't really have enough room. So what I've elected to do, I've got the generator back off. I'm going to pop the nut off, pull the pulley, make a very small shim to go in behind, and hold it out about probably 1/8 of an inch, about 100 thousandths or so. And I also may actually take it apart because I got mud daubers in that oil hole, and I think that I just soon clean that out before I ruin my bearings or bushings, because this thing is smooth as glass. So I think I'm gonna do some cleaning on it. I'm gonna do that off camera, but I'll bring you back and show you what I got done here. Now the pulley came right off easy, just tapped it off with a hammer, you know, without hitting out on the edge, just tapped on the inside. But looks to me like there's keyway sheared off, not even any evidence left of it. And this here looks perfect inside. So that makes me assume that this has been replaced and they just didn't bother replacing the woodruff key. So I'm going to spend a few minutes trying to get that out, and then we'll continue disassembling, cleaning the mud daubers out and whatnot. So I'm filling this fan up, regular engine oil. I'm going to give it, I gave it 10 squirts on the initial. I just gave it 5 more. Now I'll turn it down and see if I've got it full enough. And there's no oil running out, so I'm still not up to the standpipe. I'm going to give it 2 or 3 more, and then we'll tip it down. See if that overcomes it or not. Nope, still not running out. There's no seal in the back, so it shouldn't have a vacuum, you know, or anything on it. Of course, a little bit drools out just from... So I'm up to 20. Let's give it 3 more squirts, see if that does it. We ought to be getting about there. No, still not. Anyway, I'm going to keep counting and I'll let you know how many it took. So it took 30. You can see it's just drooling out. I'm just going to let it sit there and run out. It'll drain out the bottom. I'll put some floor dry down. It's about done draining right now. Yep, right there. So that's it. I'll put the plug to her. Well, it did come out after a fashion. I took one of my little favorite chisels to drill out. Well, I use them usually to drive out bolts that I've drilled the center out. Just run that right down the threads on one side. Anyway, they work good for other stuff like this. So I'm going to continue taking apart here. Well, I got that mud dauber nest out, and it's a 3/16. Yeah, I don't even know what they call those things. It's an oil cup, what I always call them, but there is probably a proper name. But anyway, I got it all cleaned out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this off, file it flat, and I'm going to put a 10x32 helicoil in here because it's already oversized to tap for 10x32. So I'll have to put a helicoil in. And then I'm just going to take a helicoil, Then I'm going to take a 10x32 and just put a small gasket under the head and I'll screw it in. That'll keep the rain from running down inside of that. And keep this hole clean in case you want to put some oil in it. Because it does have a felt seal, which is kind of not in that great a condition, but that's all right. We'll put the oil to it and it might come back a little bit. But anyway, the bearing's in good shape. It's smooth as a kitty's ear and it's a sealed bearing. So I think we're good that way. But I am going to go ahead and take care of that. Well, I got it in with a copper washer behind it. Now we just got to go wash up everything and we can reassemble. I think it's coming out all right. I'm getting ready to put this back together. I just wanted to show you these little springs that hold the carbon brushes. Just go ahead and pull them out of the way and pick your brush up and then let it set against the outside. And when you look down through the inside, you'll see they're all out of your way. And then we can slide that right together like nothing. Should be able to set it just like that. We'll put just a little bit of oil on the other end and I'll drop it in. As you can see, it dropped right in. And all we got to do is just take a nail or something and just pull it back out of the way and set it on top of the brush. And it's all good. You do that with all three of them. Anyway, I'm going to get this lined up here. I just got to line up the pin and then I'll throw the bolts to it. This is another one of them ones there. That one's on top. Yep. This one here, we just got to pick it up a little and let that brush drop. Put it back on top. Pull this one up. Wiggle it a couple times. That one's all set. So we've got all three of the brushes now down on the armature. And we ended up with them a couple little shims. So we've moved the pulley out just a skosh. And I am going to make a new gasket. I'm not going to show that. I got to go find me a new bolt for this. The old one was so frigged up that I cut it. But yeah, she's together. So not really anything exciting. But we're gaining. I'm going to put this on and we'll see how she fits. As you can see, I got just about 1/8 of an inch clearance here. It made a heck of a difference putting them shims in. Stuff lines up good now. So yeah, I just got to finish this up tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll get her started and see if she still generates before I start changing out all the wiring. But we're gaining. Well, sometimes you just can't stand it, you know. I couldn't wait till morning. I had to see. So I hooked the battery up. I got the 2 wires hooked up to the generator. And yeah, a little bit of choke. And we'll see what happens here. Huh, now it ain't gonna run. Perfect. I had flooded it. I shouldn't have choked it where it's warm in here. But anyway, yeah. No marks on the outside of the belt. That's good. Yeah, I think we got a. And yeah, don't hesitate to hit the like button and subscribe. And we will see you on the next one, hopefully tomorrow.